Hi everyone, it's your Wednesday host, Sharich88, and this week's topic is ridding yourself of negativity. Now, for me, that's like kind of branches off in different sectors, I guess you could say. So I'm going to begin with like sort of the basic, and that for me is just ridding yourself of your normal everyday life, so work, school, whatever. And for me, that can be done in a simple way, just simply having a shower. You don't need to have sort of a ritual based around it that's like really complex with words and things. It could be just having a shower and imagining that negativity in a certain light being drained away and yourself being covered in a white or whatever light you want. Because water is very pure, great for washing away negativity. So a simple shower, it could be a spell if you want to. If you feel emotionally drained by someone, or you've just had a sort of a negative day with people in general, a negative month, a year, whatever, you could do a banishing working, which for me is a more complex version. For me, ridding of simple negativity, I don't call it a banishing ritual. I think, like personally, I would only refer to banishing if it's something quite extreme. So yeah, that's one way. If it's negative within a space or an object, again, if you feel like it's an extreme version, like an extreme weight upon you, banishing is great. If you feel like it is just a little bit of an annoyance or sort of it's just negative but not extremely, then salt is perfect for that. So it's very pure. Um, you could also make little spell pouches to keep with you whenever you feel like that's involved. That's perfectly fine. Things like that. There's like just different ways. Um, so I'm not going to go too much in depth. It's just I don't have a lot of time. Now, and I really want to focus on more of the banishing aspect. So I kind of already said what I mean by the difference. So banishing for me is more like you have a negative presence in form of a spirit or it could be a person as well, or a demonic force. And that for me takes a lot more energy than banishing a simple emotion. When you're working with an actual presence, an actual energy source, that you would get from a person or an entity, let's call it an entity, that for me takes a lot more energy, and it's something a lot harder to rid yourself of, especially when it comes to a working. And it may take various banishing ways, various banishing workings to actually rid yourself of it. Personally, for me, if it was just sort of an emotion, a simple shower or a simple like ceremony type thing of salt being around the corners of my room or around an object, like you would cleanse your crystals, or tarot cards from any negative energies. You have your various ways of running them through incense, holding them above a flame. A flame is kind of I try to incorporate that a lot because I find fire very powerful and cleansing as well. I link a lot more with fire than I do with water. But those are like my simple ways of going about it. However, if I felt like I needed to banish something, what I do is I like to do various workings around that one thing, and each time they get more complex. So to begin with, it may be just charming a certain object. I'm holding it around salt, and then I'll proceed with having a photo of myself or whoever I'm doing it for, and then adding more things around that, and then it will evolve an actual sort of a spellish type thing where like there's your traditional candles and things and words and stuff. And my last goal will be to gather everything I've used, because I can't burn herbal blends, and I tend to use herbs quite a lot, even if I'm not placing them in pouches. So I keep it all gathered. Every time I'm done with one working, I'll put it into like a bag. And second working, I'll put whatever's remained into a bag. Even the remains of wax, everything I've used in that, I will put together. And on my final working, if there's not a lot, then I will find a way to bury it far from me. There's a lot of symbolism. You have to think about the symbolism of the actions you do. I'll either bury it, I'll bottle it and then bury it, I'll bottle it and chuck it somewhere. That's obviously safe, so it doesn't harm anyone. And it's a bit weird, but I like to see the glass break, because that for me is almost like I'm breaking the hold that negativity has on me. So that's just a few of my suggestions of doing something. And yeah, I know this is very simple. I'm not really going into the various workings that I do for that one thing, because I don't want to make this too long. My videos have been quite long lately. So I do see a difference between ridding yourself or anyone of simple negativity, and then obviously ridding yourself of an entity. Now, if you suffer from something like depression, then the emotional negativity can be a lot stronger than someone who doesn't suffer from depression but feels it. And that, for me, I would go through the same steps that I took for the entity, because the way I view depression is an entity within oneself. It is a demon, and I take it just as seriously as I would an entity. So yeah, if there's any questions, please leave them below, and I'll pass them on to other hosts if they don't, just in case they don't see the comments, and they will hopefully, if they can and have the time, they'll probably try and answer that within their videos, or I will get back to you, definitely. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. And I'm sorry about the music, it's because there are people next door. So yeah, please leave topics, subscribe, favorites, whatever. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye guys.